Hello and welcome to another edition of my tutorials. Today we're picking up off the last tutorial. I'm going to teach you more about blending options, which are so very powerful when you want something to stand out on a page. So this is what we wound up with last time. We actually used the type tool. Here I clicked on that type layer, and we used our type warp function in order to distort. But there's other ways to make this headline stand out, and that is the blending options. They're fantastic. So this is where you add things like drop shadows and glows. So if I either right click on this layer, there we go, and then I click on blending options, or if I hover down here, if I click on effects, and you get your blending options again. If I click on these, and I can go straight to things like drop shadow. Here, I'll show you the menu. There we go. If I click on things like drop shadow, where you can you see a little bit of shadow there. Let's increase the distance there, and you can already see that it's starting to pop off the page. There we go. Just add a little bit of just make it look a little bit more natural. And then, so you've got a nice drop shadow. That has been a go-to for years for a lot of people. Let's go to inner shadow, which actually looks like, and you got to click on the actual type. It actually looks like it's cut out of the page. Outer glow is always a good go-to. Let's change that color to white because my type is so light already, and we can make that look like it's glowing. Inner glow, you can guess what that is. Bevel and emboss is always a good one. It was a lot more popular in say the 90s when Photoshop was a lot newer, and then everybody wanted to make everything look 3D. And so you used to see a lot of this, and then let's tone that back a little bit, and there we go. So you can see how those edges are there, and then you can combine them. Say if you have like this bevel right there, and then you add a drop shadow to it, then it really looks like it's 3D kind of embossed, and it's popping off the page too. If you wanted something a little bit more or less dramatic than that, things like the stroke is always useful. You have like a simple stroke that you're adding to it. That's 35 pixels. That's pretty thick. If you could have it on the inside. I don't know why you would, because it really eats at the font and makes it not as legible. Same as center. I can't imagine why anybody would do anything else but just have it on the outside, because it just keeps things more legible. And yeah, you could have a drop shadow here too, but you can't see it because the stroke is kind of covering it up. You have to have your distance really far so you could see your shadow happening. Okay, I think for this, I think I'm gonna just keep with that, put my distance there, and then do I want bevel and bot? Nah, well, nah, I don't want it. Okay. So that works. So that is blending options. Certainly a powerful thing for making things stand out. Oh yeah, and as well, it's not limited to just type. Like even with the horse. Like say if I had, and I'll just isolate the horse here. If I wanted to add something to the horse, so let's just go to effects and just add. Like I could add a drop shadow to it. Let's wait for that to pop up. There we go. And then you can make that like so. So he's kind of popping off the page. Certainly doesn't have the same effect when you're working with images. You gotta really know, or maybe the stroke. You know, it kind of almost looks like it's a cutout now. Especially if I change the color to like white or an off-white there. Make it more white. And then I added a drop shadow. All right, then it almost looks like it's a cutout rather than you're actually doing like a photo image. So just little tricks that you can do. We won't keep that on the horse. Okay, so if you learn anything today, it's about adding blending options to different objects, and you can be found right right here in the FX right here. Okay, good luck.